Hey everybody, welcome to the Everything Paranormal Show. I'm your host, Josh Morris, and tonight we're going to be covering a few different topics. Remember, this is the show that you get to interact with. All right, we're going to be talking about a few topics tonight. The main one we're really going to be discussing excuse me for a second. This is a live show. What do you expect from me? All right, so can ghost hunters, what we call paranormal investigators or ghost hunters, can they provide real research? Okay, this is something always talked about in all kinds of circles. If you're out there in the paranormal social media, then you know that there's always this big debate about who's really doing research and the scholars versus the ones out in the field. So we're going to be discussing that a little bit tonight, and we'll discuss a little bit more as well. So it looks like we've got a few viewers already, so I appreciate you guys. We'll go ahead and get started. Remember, feel free to jump in at any time. We'll talk about things again. This is the show that you guys can interact with. All right, so can ghost hunters provide real research? Well, I think you have to define ghost hunters, and I think this is where people are going to get this is where people get confused, or at least sort of sent in different directions. There is ghost hunters. I guess you could say ghost hunting is very easy to take up. So you're going to have a huge amount. Remember, according to paranormalsociety.com, we have over 5,000 registered ghost hunting teams. Pretty much just here in America, really. So that's registered. That's not saying how many is actually not registered either. Okay? So we have a lot of paranormal teams out there, paranormal investigation teams. So I think the real question is how credible are they? Now, again, it's tough because when you have somebody like me, who I consider myself a paranormal investigator or even researcher into parapsychology, I guess sometimes I'm lumped into just a normal ghost hunter that's just running around thrill seeking. So I think you have to really break down the different parts of the type of ghost hunters that are out there. You're going to have your ghost hunting team that maybe they watched it on TV, maybe they're YouTubers thinking that this is going to get them a lot of hits or views. Whatever the case is, sometimes those type will fall under like the thrill-seeking category. They're the ones that are really more inwardly thinking about themselves. They just want to find cool locations to go check out, take some recorders, try to hear some ghosts and get creeped out and laugh about it and share it and try to get likes and views. That seems to be a case. By the way, guys, I hope you like my background. This is real footage of a home right here in my local area. It's an old abandoned home. I just thought it was pretty cool. Maybe you'll see something in the background. I don't know. I just thought it'd be cool to start doing some of these live, or not live, but some of these backgrounds I think would be really cool, of some actual locations in the area. No stock footage right here, so that's cool. So I just thought I'd let you know the little history on the background here, the house here. Okay, so moving back. So I think sometimes when you get those ghost hunters that are just out there thrill seeking, yes, I think that can cause a bad rap among people that are trying to actually do paranormal research. People that are trying to make an impact or try to help people. So that's important to understand that. I mean, I just want you guys to understand that not everybody is just out there thrill seeking. Now, of course, you're going to have your teams that maybe they do care. They're going to be probably your next step up from thrill seeking. They're going to be the ones that actually may want to help some people, but again, very amateur, maybe not quite gathering evidence the right way or documenting things. They're just, again, trying to wing it. And I would say then you get some pretty good teams out there. There is some teams that do pretty good. They do their baseline readings. They try to capture evidence. And they do try to actually help people at times. And I think that's really cool. Oh, my phone's dying. I was trying to view like the chat. So but yeah, there's some teams out there that do really good. They capture evidence. So the question also turns to, is that credibility? Like, can people take that evidence and say, you actually was out researching in the field? So what does it take to be a researcher? Now, again, we've got the scholars, we've got the teams. Now, let's also look at scholars real quick. Scholars, I'm not saying that none of them do field work. Again, I don't want to necessarily say it's scholars versus us. I think that's the wrong mentality. I think if we end up in that mentality, and my wife was trying to. Okay, but it's a live show, so my wife all texted me during my live show. She was just trying to help. They let me know that she was watching. Okay, so sorry about that. But scholars, I don't want us as ghost hunters or researchers or paranormal investigators. I don't want people to think that it's us versus scholars. We do have some scholars that are out there investigating, and I think it's important that people understand that we need to try to work together. I think we can both learn from each other. I think you've got some people out there that I'll watch some of their stuff, and what's funny is that they will spend a lot of time citing other people, and they just cite, we're going to be talking about this people's work and this people's work and this people's work, and that's cool. If you like it, that wordy, intelligent type stuff, I try to break things down in normal perspective. I listen to it, and I try to break it down in everyday language for all of us to completely understand. I'm not super intelligent. Like, I'm not a super scholar, but I'm not dumb either. I've been out there. I've always told people, where do you want to learn? Let's say you wanted to learn about criminals, and you had a choice. Are you going to learn from the cop that's been out on the beat for 30 years, out in the field, dealing with criminals every day? Or do you want to learn from that lieutenant that's fresh out of, the academy, writing papers and theories on law? I mean, who do you really want to learn about criminals from? So I think that's a valid point. Now, again, okay, before y'all get butthurt on this, keep in mind there is, say, police officers that's been in the field many years, and they've also been to college. They're very intelligent. They also are book savvy and can be considered scholars in their world. And they go on, and they're the ones that are also advised. So I think, yes, there's going to be a little bit of everything. So my word of advice is, don't just dismiss ghost hunters, but don't always just take everything that scholars say, at face value. Because again, you have to look. I look at so many of these papers and reports, and there's some good ones out there, and then there's some that are, again, very theory based. And you try to look at what their theories are based on, and it's not really actually much more. If that sounded like crap. There's not much more than what we base our theories on. When I say our, I mean just average ghost hunters. Again, I think you have to look at who's saying what. If you've got people just out there every day just throwing theories up there, and they don't have much of a basis behind it, then yes, they're just throwing things up there and, whatever. Usually with my theories, I try to explain why I've come to that conclusion. Whether it's it's a majority type of thing, if we've had a lot of reports about these things, but also when you're out in the field and you investigate these things, it's not always black and white. And that's the thing about paranormal, which leads me to the next thing. So let's talk a little bit about the metaphysical side of things, and the like the psychokinetic energy and metaphysical and things that this is part of the paranormal that sort of makes the paranormal. Okay? In other words, these are things that if science could just magically track, or just figure, if they found a way to track, like, this kinetic energy and to the psychokinetic energy and like that metaphysical energy with crystals and things like that, if they can find a way to track that, see, you can tell me all day long, you can bring in experts all day long that can say, yes, crystals are just rocks, they're just stones, and blah 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 blah. And again, I understand that, yes, there's a spiritual side of things as well, but what I'm saying is that, look, I do believe in some of the power of crystals, because I've had that experience. It's hard to explain, and I'm not saying that it substitutes my relationship with Jesus Christ, for example, and I'm not going to get preachy on you guys. All I'm saying is that there is a coexistence that can happen. It's how you deal with things and how you do it. Now, if you sit there and idolize your crystals and worship your crystals, or if you use it to substitute things, then that might be bad in your eyes, whatever. Again, everybody has their own take on those things. What I'm saying is that science has pretty much said, look, we don't believe in the power of crystals. We've tried, using like a placebo, and we've tried doing these type of studies, and we haven't really been able to make that connection. But there's something more. Again, this is kind of like, and I don't want to say this without being like, and I'm sure somebody will bite my head off on this, but what I'm saying is, science has not been able to physically take a meter and prove the amount of energy from, say, God or Jesus Christ, from a crucifix or something, a metaphysical energy. So we have faith. We believe in these things. Okay, we have the Bible. We have certain scriptures. We have things that allow us to sort of have these things and back things up. Well, we can still have faith in things like crystals and in the paranormal we know exist. So again, I'm not trying to argue this from a spiritual standpoint too much. I just wanted to throw a few things out there to get you guys thinking about some things. Again, you don't have to believe or believe in the exact same things I do. These are just things that I witnessed and I believe in. Also, crystals, yes, I've got a new one that I found today, or not today, I found just recently, and it, again, see, and this is the part that people, they may think that, oh, Josh is just being crazy, which I'm a very level-headed, sound person. I'm like an everyday kind of guy. That's what makes this channel unique sometimes, is that I'm just an everyday dude, and I'm trying to help explain these extraordinary events that I've witnessed and things. But the crystal, it's not that it spoke to me, but it just, I walked by, I was looking around, and I looked down, and it was like boom, it's almost as if it spoke to me, and it made that connection with me, and I'm like, I gotta have it. So there was that connection, and when I held it, you can feel an energy. People may not believe it. There's, of course, the believers will. They'll understand, and they're gonna hear that, and they're gonna say, "Yeah, Josh, you can feel the energy." And then there's people out there going, "I've held quartz. I don't feel any energy. They feel like stones to me." Again, this is what makes that paranormal world. This is what makes it hard for the non-believers. There will never be enough evidence for the skeptic. We say that all the time. I say that all the time. There'll never be enough evidence for the skeptic. So with that being said, again, the skeptics are going to be like, they're just stones, man, whatever. But there is something there. Okay? And again, I don't use this in that way of substitution of my religion or anything like that. This serves a different purpose. So anyway, so I built this. I just thought I'd show you guys. This is my new clear quartz. You know, I built, of course, the chain. This time I made it a little shorter. Last one was a little longer. Kind of even hung off camera a little bit. I like to have it like about this height. This is pretty cool. So I just thought I'd share with that since we were talking about those type of things. So getting back to that debate on research. So who can you trust? You know, if you are a person out there and you're looking for answers, do you trust the scientist type of scholar, or do you trust, again, the ghost hunter? I personally think it's a combination of the two. I don't see why we can't coexist, because I do think there's a place for people doing studies. They should. We should have some intelligent people in controlled environments trying to capture evidence of paranormal. We should. And but I don't know if they should be quick to draw those conclusions. Again, it's tough. It's tough. If it was easy, we would have already had the evidence by now. But here is the truth behind all of that. This is also what drives people to turn to other answers, because people don't believe them. I see you see me. What's up, buddy? Maybe a girl. I don't know. I'm okay. I'm almost embarrassed to say I can feel energy from crystals, but to be honest, I don't know why or what to do with it. Other people don't. Well, okay. Let me try to put this in perspective. A dog whistle, right? A dog whistle. Sometimes people can't hear a dog whistle. People blow a dog whistle. Now, you know, some people, they can kind of hear it. But I'm just saying, just bear with me on this analogy. The dog whistle, though, most of the time humans don't quite hear it. Dogs can hear it. Okay? And, okay, you're an old lady, cool. Well, there you go. I didn't know. I didn't know. I see you see me. I didn't know if that was like a guy thing or whatever. But that's a cool name. I still like that. Okay, so let me explain this, though. It's like a dog whistle in the sense that, look, dogs can hear it. People can't. In the world of crystals, I believe that metaphysical energy, and I'm not talking about crystal healing. I'm talking about in the sense of paranormal. Let's say we have some jet, or let's say we have, some shungite or something that's protective, like a protective type of stone. Well, sure, we may not feel the energy, or we may feel some energy, but it's like a dog whistle. That metaphysical energy that we can't detect, but spirits may hear it, like dog whistles. Okay? But with the crystal, it's protecting us in a way that we can't see it. Okay? Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. But I think that some of the energies from the crystals we can't feel sometimes. And the protective qualities and things like that, these are things that, again, may work. They may keep spirits away, evil spirits away, and things like that, because it works on a different level, that level that we can't detect on a scientific level. So I hope that may answer your questions. Also, they don't believe me. I can feel entities too. Well, you know, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, people sense entities a lot. In fact, I believe that most people are born, we're probably all born with a degree of psychic ability. However, in time, as we become adults, some of that goes away. Some people stay sensitive. My wife's pretty sensitive as well. She has intuition quite a bit. She usually can sense whether spirits are positive or negative. So that's very important, because again, she could develop that more. I think some people, they can work with that. psychic mediums, again, they tend to work on their skills and develop them over time. And again, I'm not going to get into the whole who's legitimate, who's not. I'm just saying, in general, that's how it works. Okay, that psychokinetic energy, that metaphysical energy in the planes that we can have. This is something we all possess to a degree. It's just whether you develop it. Some people have retro clairvoyancy. Some people are precog. Some people are, remote viewers, or a little bit of everything. Psychic mediums, psychics, from people's auras. There's a wide variety of different talents using those abilities, right? It just depends on what you really want to develop, most likely. Like I said, I can be sensitive. There's some times I'll get some intuition. I just tend to keep myself guarded a lot more. I try to keep a good defense up, but at the same time still do investigations. I still investigate stuff, but I like to keep things at a distance. My wife is more of the magnet. She tends to she doesn't have good defenses. She's pretty open on certain things, and I try to work with her on defense. So like we do try to get her some protection that she can carry with her as well. And of course, we pray. We have the power of God and Jesus Christ as well. So that all helps us 100%. But yeah, definitely Moldavite is powerful to me, and Cavensite. Not familiar with those. Again, I'm not a stone expert. I've learned over some time, and it does seem to have made some differences in paranormal type stuff. So, getting back also on the research thing, again, I think we can learn from all of each other. I think that there should be some scholars that I think, in all honesty, that a good paranormal investigation team should have somebody that's a scholar type of individual, that can use the team to gather data in a scientific way a lot of times. If a team is out there doing those things, yes, I think we can learn and get some real research on those things and present it out there to people. So I don't think we should be quick at, kind of knocking the ghost hunter world. Yes, there's a lot of people out there that just kind of jump on the train, and they love the drama, and they just want to thrill seek and things like that. Again, that does hurt the industry, but let's not throw around too much mud. You know what I mean? We're all in this together. It's nice if you have some scholastic stories or papers or videos. Hey, put it out there, share it for people. But let's not pick on the ghost hunters either, because again, they're going to put stuff out there, and you'll be surprised at how much real evidence is gained. Okay? I could play you all kinds of EVPs. Now, science, and even some, like I said, some of these scholars that are scientists, they will never believe anything. Okay? Any EVPs is all, we hear what we want to hear. Matrixing with the photos and the videos. There's the the circle of confusion that like Fujifilm and places like that have talked about with like spirit orbs and photographs. They talk about the circle of confusion. If you don't know what I'm talking about, it's an effect it's a focal effect with the camera and things like that. It's another way for them to try to shoot paranormal incidences down. Again, and that may be the case. I've never really actually been too much of a spirit orb fan on photos, things like that. Some videos, every once in a while I see some videos where I do see like a spirit orb where I'm like, well, it could be. I think we even have one of my son recently that the way that the orb, the alleged orb moved, it was pretty compelling versus, just like dust or, I've seen a lot of kind of natural dust patterns and things like that. But every once in a while you get something that says, well, that is unique a little bit, or that doesn't seem normal. But again, if it's something like that, again, I'm still not going to just, say, oh, it was definitely something for sure. And, just, again, I can recognize the levels of evidence. That's why we have a ranking system in EVPs. So let's talk a little bit about evidence and EVPs, for example. So I've been researching the energies of different crystals this year. I might do a vid soon, but I really am shy in front of a camera. Well, that's fine, and I see you see me. One option too is you could reach out to talk shows. If you don't want to do a video, you could reach out to talk shows, certain live shows maybe. I don't know any off the top of my head, but you could reach out to some of these shows and maybe you could come on there and you don't have to be in front of the camera. You can do audio and you can talk about your crystals and talk about your experiences as well. So just an idea, something I thought I'd throw out there. Again, my wife's very camera shy too, so if we ever get her on the show, most likely you'll probably just hear her. I don't know. Who knows? But hi, Carrie Marie. It's good to see you. Thumbs up. Awesome. So, all right. So we were talking about credibility among ghost hunters. So again, guys, what I think you have to do as an individual out there is just do your research when it comes to your ghost hunters. Find out, usually after you talk to them and maybe even meet them, like if you have a problem and you reach out to a paranormal group and they're not too keen on helping you, chances are they're in it for themselves. So now again, they may, if it's paranormal activity in your home and you're just like, oh, my house is so haunted and blah blah, and if they're focused on that and not so much you and your trauma, the mentality that you faced, all right, then again, chances are they're going to be inward and you may not get that credibility or that research from them. So make sure you interview, make sure you look at those type of things. I've started recently to try to elevate the level of quality among the ghost hunters. I really would like to push this narrative. I think we need to stop setting up teams, or if we do, we need to try to do our best to educate. And again, go back and watch that last video that I just did last time where I said basically how to set up or how to have good investigations. Now, is it a perfect video? No, but it's going to give you a good core foundation. If you have a paranormal group, something that you can structure, something that you can, use to not only care about your people, but to give them the proper help or point them in the right directions, things like that. So I think the real narrative should be, let's elevate that level of quality and not just settle for any old ghost hunters to be showing up at our door and chasing ghosts in our house, stirring up a bunch of activity, and then leaving. And then not even following up with their clients, their victims. They should be following up and they should be doing a good, thorough investigation and helping people. That's the point of everything. While they're doing this, they should be trying to gather credible evidence. Okay? This is the part that, again, if ghost hunters were out there doing their baseline readings, controlling their environments, having an objective investigation, and then maintaining their findings, then I think that's going to help scholars, other credible, college smart guys, could probably actually tap into some of your evidence and say, "Oh, you've maintained this evidence in a good chain of custody. You've maintained this well. You documented it. You've done these things in a fairly scientific manner. So this is stuff I may be able to use to my research." So I think, again, we can kind of go hand in hand. But now I also do, on the flip side, remember, I want to caution you guys on just running out and reading every single thing that just because they're a scholar. Take a moment. Listen to what they're saying. Are they giving you actual theories on stuff? Have they truly collected evidence on things, or are they just citing other people and putting it all together? Because sometimes they will cite a bunch of people and they don't really actually theorize much, or they don't really give you a lot of that substance. So just think of that when you watch some of these. Are they getting? I like to try to get to the meat and potatoes the best I can. Let's not go around the block. Let's try to get to the meat and potatoes of the subject and get down to it. That's why I'm saying let's elevate let's demand for better quality paranormal investigators. And I realize we all have to start somewhere. We all need answers. It's kind of an odd thing. But before you just go and accept cases, do some training. Watch my video. Watch other people's videos maybe. Get a good idea of how to conduct an actual good investigation. All right? That's just going to help people so much. Again. So, and I appreciate you guys out there in the chat land. You guys have been awesome. If you have more interactions, you guys want to share anything, you have any questions right now, hey, feel free to pop something in there. I don't mind. Again, we like to go off subject. This is the show where you get to interact. So we're talking about real research and things like that. Again, one thing I want to get into that is, because again, I always try to look at that there's people out there that are victimized by the paranormal. We have spirits out there. Now, I've explained this in other videos. You can go back and watch my other videos that talk about evil spirits and things like that. So we have real evil spirits out there that are attacking. They are causing sorrow. They are doing things to haunt people. Okay? That's their job. All right? It's not just some guy that died and he's mad because you're renovating his house. It's not just that. Sometimes it happens maybe, but it's not always that. We see that on the TV shows all the time. Like, oh, they're mad at you because you moved in their house and they don't like you because you smell or whatever. They're stupid. All right? The TV shows have cookie cutter plots, and it's always the same crap, pretty much. They don't get into, hey, you've got this evil spirit, blah, blah, blah. I mean, not that much. And then when they do come across something that could be demonic, they're freaking out. So let me just cover something out there. If you are afraid of demons, know something. You have a tremendous amount of power. Demons actually don't have as much power as people think. Yeah, believe it or not. But people are afraid of them because of the illusions they create. All right? They can physically scratch you. They can do certain things. But again, they are trying to get you to break. They're trying to cause fear. But you actually have more power than you realize. But again, most people feel like, oh my God, there's a scary demon. It's invading my home and all this stuff, and they panic. And meanwhile, guess what? That fear, that's putting all that extra PKE, that psychokinetic energy, back into things. Almost like you're elevating, like almost like you're causing a poltergeist yourself. but you're elevating it. You're feeding them. You're feeding them that energy, that fear, when they say they feed on fear. So that's why I'm trying to explain this. Don't be afraid. Okay? Don't be afraid of demons. You have more power than you absolutely realize. People don't realize that. Okay? And it's like the story when Jesus Christ came across the man that was filled with demons, like the legion. He was filled with legion, right? We're all scared of like the word legion, like, oh my God, he was filled with legion. But they saw it was Jesus Christ. They knew, and they were already scared, and they were like trying to flee. They asked permission to go into the pigs and go drown. I mean, you know what I mean? They left the man, okay? But my point is that you have so much more power than you realize. But when you fear them, and that's why I'm also talking directly to you, I see you see me. I'm also talking directly to you because if you just get out of that mentality, okay? Do that for me. Don't be afraid. Take faith and be strong, okay? Because you are more powerful than them. When you get afraid, again, it's that cycle. The more you fear, the stronger they seem to be, and the more they invade your life. And eventually they invade your life to the point they're trying to get you to break down so they can come into your spirit body. Again, because they have to try to get into your spirit body. They have to try to invade you. They have to break you down first. Okay? Because that's all their goal is. They just want to exist on Earth again, really, in that sense. And I don't mean you for anybody to feel sorry for them. Because trust me, they will mess you up. They're like a cancer. Cancer will completely destroy itself. It'll destroy the host. All right? It'll completely destroy itself, even if it means its own death in that sense. Except with demons, they don't die. So they will completely destroy you and then move on. Okay? Don't be afraid of them. You actually have way more power than you realize. That's a big message I wanted to send out since we came across that. I figured, hey, you know what? It's a good time to give you some positive messages and some encouragement, guys. You know, so many people out there are afraid of paranormal all the time. They are scared at times. And sometimes it can be scary. You know, we're messing with things that, again, we don't fully know the answers on, a lot of theories. But there is strength in the fact that I have seen the power of conviction and faith. And I have seen that. I wanted to tell the story, but I have a friend, I want him to tell it, and I don't like to share my wife's stories. My wife's got some cool, really good stories as well, and again, I hope she shares them, so if she's listening, I hope she will come on here, in the audio form at least, and share some of her stories in the past as well, but I know that there was a guy. This is one that I can share, right? I know we should all be like, come on, Terry Lynn, come on the show. And we all just needed to gang up and, you know, beg her to come on. But, so here's this story about this other guy. I knew this one guy. He was very much being attacked by demons, in the sense that, and it wasn't, what people also have to understand is being attacked by demons doesn't necessarily mean that it's like that creepy monster and blah, 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 like a scary monster doing scary things. Sometimes demons have a way of invading your life in different ways. Okay? So, oh my God. So my wife, see, that's her in the chat under First Serve Tennis. She's signed under the wrong account. She's in our son's tennis account. That's funny. So, hi, First Serve. So anyways, but no, this guy, just to tell this quick story, this guy, again, it's not always, demons sometimes work different ways. Well, this guy was having like these nightmares, these horrible nightmares. They were just filled with just bad things. I'm not talking about just, but they were thoughts, bad thoughts that he wanted to do. He wanted to do bad things. He's like, why am I was like, I'm not a bad person. Why am I wanting to do these bad things? And he's having these visions and dreams, and it's really like affecting him. And it just got so bad. Now, for him, and again, this is for him. This isn't for everybody, but for him, what happened, and he told me, and again, he sometimes I tell the story and people are like, oh, he's just saying that because he's trying to recruit you. No. But he actually surrendered himself to Jesus Christ. And again, I'm not trying to be preachy on here, so don't run away for those of you that are scared of those type of things. But seriously, he gave himself to Jesus Christ, and he was empowered by that, and everything stopped. When he truly committed and did that, actually everything stopped. Now again, he's not like over the top Christian and things like that, you know what I'm saying? But this is something we were talking about, and he told me the story. So I just wanted you guys to understand that you have more power than you absolutely realize when it comes to demons. All right. And if you do, I always tell people, look, I know sometimes it's easier said than done, right? If you're out there and you're watching this video, whether you're live, whether you're not live and you watch this later, if you have trouble, if you're having trouble, feel free to reach out, because again, I may not be doing active investigations. Sometimes I do. My wife wants me to investigate certain things. But maybe you're in a different part of the country or something. Like I said, I have different contacts. I know different people. Maybe we can get you some help. If you are having those type of things and you just don't know who to turn to, look, if you need to message me, comment down below. Go to the email, everythingparanormalshow@gmail.com. You can just leave out just everything paranormal. It should be in the links down below, like in the comments. If it's not there right now, it'll be there later when the video gets finalized, after the live show's done later. So, but if you have to, like I said, contact me. We're very open, and we have the Facebook group, the Everything Paranormal Show Facebook group. It's been very interactive. I think we're over 60 some members. It's been growing, so I appreciate you guys out there. I appreciate you watching. So, can demons scare somebody so bad that they have a heart attack or do something to themselves? Well, I mean, that's a great question. And, you know, this goes back to another video where I talked about, can ghosts harm you or even kill you? If an evil spirit, and it's possible, I think yes. I mean, I don't want to cause panic, but yes, I think it's possible that they could. That's again why you want to mentally be prepared for battle. That's why you want to mentally understand that you are more powerful than them. So yes, sometimes they may scare you, but it's kind of like, okay, yes, you scared me, ooh, but hey, go away, I'm stronger than you. You know, sometimes you have to put them in their place in that sense. Okay? But is it possible? It is possible, I do believe. You know, I mean, you know, I've had some scary situations, and when I was out in the field, I think my curiosity kept me from getting too scared. I think when paranormal scares you, it's usually when they catch you off guard. You know, when all of a sudden something happens, and you're like, what was that? You know, and then you try to debunk it, and you're like, I don't know. My wife and I, every once in a while, we'll have a situation like that, and then we'll try to debunk it, and sometimes we can, sometimes we can't. We're just like, well, you know, probably was a ghost, you know, or something. And some of them could be evil spirits. It's hard to say, but just try to take comfort and know the power you have. That's my biggest advice. Is have faith. Know that you're stronger. So I always try to go back on subject. So just to kind of start wrapping up our original subject about can ghost hunters do real research, I want to say yes. I'm going to say ultimately yes. Just depends on who it is. I think we need to all work together to this. It's paranormal. We don't always know the answers, folks. All you can do is research and see what's in the books. Okay? Now, again, I try to go through my videos. If you watch my videos, you'll see some of my different theories. Again, we have the social media. I always try to post theoretical questions all the time. I like to invoke thought. I like to see what you guys are thinking out there. I just posted this question out there, and I got a lot of really great responses. I got people saying yes. I got people saying no. I got people saying in between. Again, it's really good thought-provoking questions, and that's why I like to cover these things. So, let's see. It wouldn't be hard to get the proof, though sometimes don't have the right camera or video board. Right. Well, and that's the thing. Again, there's never enough evidence for the skeptic, and you could probably capture a full-blown apparition, and you're just going to have people saying, nice Photoshop. And you could be like, I took the picture. I know it's a ghost. There's always going to be again, I seriously doubt. I wonder. Sometimes I actually wonder how many of those photos that we see really are ghosts. Like, what if, because, you'll see these, and, some of them back in the day when we had film was like double exposure. I think I saw what was so funny. This is another funny story. This is actually a funny little story. I saw something posted. It was an old black and white photo, and it was a double exposure. Like back then, there was a lot of double exposures and things like that. And it was, and some of you may have seen it. It's the picture of the cute little girl with the umbrella, and she's kind of see-through, and she's at a cemetery. So they had it, and it's funny because it's not a real ghost. It's a double exposure. It happened all the time back when we had film. But what's so funny, what really makes it funny, is that some of the new kids that don't really know what film is, they're like, "Oh, nice Photoshop," and blah blah blah. Like they never even realized it was film and double exposure, and it's just funny. I guess we're getting old. Like some of us are getting old, older and things, And it's just funny to see the newer generation just completely look at it as a digital type of fakery or something. So that's really funny on things like that. So, but again, I still wonder though how many times I've seen so many ghost photographs. I've seen ghost videos. I mean, anybody in this industry or not even the industry, but in the paranormal field, we've all, like you guys out there, we've all went out there and watched these videos. We've all went out there and watched them on TV. We click on YouTube and we watch all this like paranormal ghosts caught on tape, caught on security cameras, caught on nanny cams, blah blah blah. It's interesting. It makes you wonder which ones are real, which ones are faked, and even the still photographs. It really makes you think which ones we've actually seen may be ghosts. And there's some people out there that will tell you, well, none of them are. They're all fake or digital or, matrixing. And we zoomed in. And I will say, though, if you zoom into something, like, it's hard saying. I've got a picture that I took of, like the background you see right here. one of the houses in the area I took a picture of, and I think I had it on my Facebook group for a while. It's probably in the photo album. If you guys go in there, you'll see a zoomed up picture of like a window pane. Well, my wife caught that. I just took a picture. Like I'll do this. Like I'll take a picture of what you guys see here. Like I'll take a picture of this and I'll be like, "Oh, do you see anything in the window there? You know, in this window right here, or do you see anything, you know, like I'm trying to point like a weatherman. Like, I'm just trying to point. Like, do you see anything over here? Or, you know." So the point is, you know, I'll let other people look. And my wife zoomed in and saw this image. I don't know if it's matrixing. It's cool. It looks like a pretty good profile of a guy. It looks pretty good to me. So who knows? Oh, and that reminds me of another point real quick. Is there a ghost in the pic behind you? I don't think so. I literally just filmed it. Actually, this one I pulled up. There's actually a road in between the house and this me. When I filmed it, I actually pulled up, and I'm actually even sitting in my work, or not my work, my vehicle, my Jeep. I actually just put the camera right in between like the window and or right up to the window just to hold it still, and just filmed this home for a little bit because I wanted some live footage. I thought it'd be cool. Now have got another one I'm trying to work on in this abandoned home where I'm going to film. I'm trying to see if I can get permission to go inside this old home and film and set up like a light, like one of my lights, and actually film. And it almost is going to look like I'm coming live from that house. It's like inside that creepy home. That's what I'm working on. I'm trying to do some pretty cool backgrounds for you guys, some actual cool backgrounds. So yeah, I think that would be really cool if we did something like that. But yeah, there's no ghost behind me here. Again, if you guys see one, definitely let me know. Like, hey, I think I saw something. But I don't think so. I've looked it over. I don't really think anything. But I just think it's a cool background, and I didn't want to just do the generic. You know, now that I've got the new studio set up, I didn't want to just do like the generic backgrounds or make it look like a news desk. I want to actually bring you guys some actual locations in my area that are like abandoned or creepy or something. I just think that'd be so cool to have back there. So I really appreciate you guys tonight. You guys have been a great audience. Again, I've got some things coming up. We're going to probably do another giveaway, another Amazon gift card giveaway. We'll probably do that soon. I'm not sure yet. Again, I like to pay things forward. You guys are awesome, and if you watch this, I challenge you guys to go get some of your friends. Bring them here. Tell them, say, hey man, this guy's he's down to earth. He's got this show. He talks about these things. You know, hey, bring them here. Bring them to me, man. Let's build this channel. We'll have fun. We'll be more interactive. I got some cool things lined up for you guys, especially coming up this Halloween. We've got a lot of cool things coming up. I'm going to start doing some Halloween videos. All right, coming up soon with more of like questions about Halloween. You know, some of the things that we always look at. What's Halloween? Why do we celebrate it? These type of things. We're going to be looking at some of these things in the upcoming episodes. I've got some other projects in the works. We've got a lot that's going to be happening over the next 2 to 3 months. Like I said, all the way up to Halloween is going to be really busy for a lot of reasons. Okay, guys? So definitely, oh my God, you're definitely going to want to talk about this with your friends. Get them here, get them viewing, social media, talk to them on Facebook, share stuff with the group. I'm counting on you guys, man. So anyways, it's been fun. I love talking with you guys. Remember, seek the truth. All right? Seek the truth, guys.